Hey everybody, real quick, I want to talk about unconditional love. I know a lot of people, some people don't like unconditional love. They be like, no, my love comes with conditions because you got to do this and you have to do that, which is true. Okay, love does come with responsibility. Okay, but when it comes to unconditional love isn't a love without responsibility and accountability. Unconditional love is loving with or without conditions. Let me tell you. Let me break that down. Okay, so a lot of people look for unconditional love outside of themselves, right? So you look for someone to love you wholeheartedly. You look for someone to love your faults, love your mistakes, love the essence of you, love you on your bad days, love you on your good days, love you on the days that you don't get it right, love you on the days that you win, love you on, you being at the lowest version of yourself, love you when you on the highest version of yourself, love you when you got an attitude, love you when you're happy and you're smiling and all those things, right? When people think of unconditional love, that's usually what they want and they desire, right? Okay, but the issue with that is a lot of people look for unconditional love outside of them, and unconditional love starts inside of you. Because at any given time that you don't love those things unconditionally that I just said about yourself, you will never be able to receive unconditional love. Let me tell you why. Okay? So, by us living in this world of duality, right, there are things that we adhere to, there are things that we do, there are things we picked up, there are mistakes that we have done, there are things that we have learned, there are things that we are still learning, right? But in those things and in those things that you didn't know and that you need to learn or you are learning now, you still have to give love to yourself. You still have to give love to yourself. You still have to love the lowest version of yourself. And people don't understand how that affects you. Because once you get into the state of you not loving the lowest version of yourself, now you can love yourself and say, you know what, I need to change. But the minute that you don't love the lowest version of yourself, you start to punish yourself. So you start to put yourself in your own prison. You start putting yourself in bodies. You start binding yourself by your own boundaries, right? You start putting like this pain and punishment amongst yourself because you just can't believe you're at this lowest state. You just can't believe that you did this. You just can't believe that happened. You just can't believe, and you will literally start punishing your own self. Okay? So when you're punishing your own self, there is no unconditional love there for you. There isn't any unconditional love there for you. And for someone to love you unconditionally, you have to love yourself unconditionally. Because the way that you love, the way that you give out love, right? The way that you respond to love, the way that you reciprocate love is all about the love that you give within yourself. Well, my girl Whitney Houston said the greatest love of all is within you. And I wish, and I know I'm going off topic, but I wish my girl, I love me some Whitney, I really do. I wish my girl would have just sat back and really listened to that song, because I believe she tried to find that in a lot of people, but she just couldn't get over the things that she experienced in life. So she didn't have that greatest love of all within herself. So that led to her destruction. And that's the reason why I'm saying this, because a lot of y'all be going out trying to find somebody to love you unconditionally. No, you love yourself unconditionally. Love your faults. Love your mistakes. Because in that love, you will give yourself a little bit more grace. In that love, you will give yourself a little bit more compassion. In that love, you will not punish yourself so much. Because the moment that you bind yourself by that pain and punishment, that's what you will give off in this world. that is what you will get off. That is what you will give off. That is how you express your love to other people. But you don't understand, because the energetic connection that you feel for the love that you have within them is the love that you feel that you have within you. But if your love that you have for yourself is keeping you in prison, the love that you have for yourself is keeping you bounded in pain, no one will be able to cross those barriers. Like, no one will be able to break those chains. No one will be able to do that. So by no one will be able to do that, you will always be on this constant hunt, this constant search, this constant person, this constant being, this false-like sense of, well, I have to find somebody to love me unconditionally. I have to. But no, what you have to do is love yourself unconditionally, regardless of what is happening in your life, regardless of what has happened in your life, regardless how many mistakes you have made. This life is about learning. This life is about growing. This life is about lessons. No one born upon this motherfucker had a blueprint, had a step-by-step, day-by-day guide. Ain't nobody have that shit. Some of us was fortunate enough to have, someone that raised us with certain information, did certain things. They can, be more well-rounded about certain things in life. But even with that, when you grow up and you go out and experience this life by yourself, you hold on to the things that your parents taught you, but you have to be the one that learned that lesson. You have to be the one that experienced things that your family could have or could not possibly have experienced. But either way, through those experiences, the reason why you experience those things is for you to learn the lessons from it. Okay? So I just want to touch on that. Because I hear, all these love songs talking about unconditional love. And, I need to somebody to love me unconditionally. You will never find somebody to love you unconditionally if you are constantly in the process of hating yourself. Give it to yourself. Have a good one, y'all.